identifying people by the labels that we have put upon them. And we have so many labels. We have religious labels, economic labels, social labels, race labels, gender labels, you name it, and we have a label for a person. And every time we put a label on a person and to identify that person, we are creating a wall between that person and ourselves. And that wall eventually leads to conflict. So we have to remove those labels and just begin to look at each other as human beings. And when we are able to do that, then we will appreciate our own humanity. And that is how we can build better relationships and create a culture of non-violence to replace the culture of violence that we live in today. I don't agree with many people who say that non-violence is a strategy, that we can use it when it is convenient and discard it when it is not. Non-violence is not a strategy. It has to become a part of your being. You have to think non-violently, you have to behave non-violently to be able to respond non-violently. You can't just respond non-violently when you are so angry and mad and want to throttle somebody. So it's a whole question of learning and practicing this every day of your life to create that kind of attitude within ourselves. Many people also say that non-violence is a very negative philosophy because it's the opposite of violence. And we put the hyphen in the word there to differentiate. Non-violence, the opposite of violence. Now I have removed the hyphen and made it one word. And it changes one's perception completely. Try it out yourself and see. Use non-violence as one word and it will change your perception of it. But even otherwise, non-violence, I think, is a more positive philosophy. It is violence that is negative. And the reason is that to be able to practice violence in society, we have to fill ourselves with all kinds of negative attitudes and negative thoughts and negative feelings. We have to hate people, we have to be prejudiced against people, we have to be angry with people, and all kinds of negative thoughts have to come into us. We have to dehumanize people to be able to beat them up and kill them. That is negativity. But to practice non-violence, on the other hand, we have to allow positive feelings and positive attitudes to emerge and take control. Respect, love, understanding, acceptance. These are positive things. And it is when we are filled with positiveness that we would then be able to practice non-violence effectively. Now, grandfather also explained in his writings, in a beautiful passage, the essence of his philosophy of non-violence. He said, keep your thoughts positive, because your thoughts become your words. Keep your words positive, because your words become your behavior. Keep your behavior positive, because your behavior becomes your habit. Keep your habits positive, because your habits become your values. Keep your values positive, because your values become your destiny. So just keeping positive thoughts will lead to positive destiny. So conversely, having negative thoughts is going to lead to negative destinies. So it's important that we maintain positive thoughts and keep positive attitudes so that we can understand non-violence and practice it effectively. Now, grandfather was really very concerned in his life with this whole culture of violence that is dominating. And he tried to warn us in his own way to change and replace that culture with the culture of non-violence. But he wasn't the only one who was concerned about this. There were many others who were concerned, equally concerned about it. And I want to share with you the words of two very important American people. who said violence is evil. One of them is General Omar Bradley, a hero of World War II, who saw the worst aspects of violence in World War II, and he was so disgusted that in 1948 he made this statement. He said, "The world has achieved brilliance without wisdom, power without conscience. Ours is a world of nuclear giants and ethical midgets. We know more about war than we know about peace, more about killing than we know about living." The other person who made a very profound statement was President Eisenhower, who also saw the worst aspects of violence in World War II. And he also was disgusted with violence. And 3 months after his inauguration as president of this country, he made this statement: "Every gun that is made, every warship launched, every rocket fired signifies in the final sense a theft from those who hunger and are not fed, those who are cold and are not clothed. This world in arms is not spending money alone. It is spending the sweat of its laborers, the genius of its scientists, the hopes of its children. This is not a way of life at all in any true sense. Under the clouds of war, it is humanity hanging on a cross of iron." Now these are all words of warning to us to mend our ways, to get out of this kind of culture that we have created around us and to become more giving and more positive and more non-violent. And we can do this. We don't need to make profound changes in our lives to be able to achieve this. We can do it in tremendously different ways here.